r/askreddit. What are some solved mysteries?
I have one that most people seem to not know about. Grand Duchess Anastasia was in fact killed with the rest of her family in 1918. She never escaped, and the several women throughout the 20th century claiming to be her lied. The site of the execution of the Tsar and his family was completely untouched until 1991. Excavation found only 9 of the 11 expected remains. It wasn't until 2007 that 2 further sets of remains were found a small distance away from the previous gravesite. DNA testing found that one of the sets of remains belonged to Tsarevich Alexei and the other to one of his sisters. With this find, it proved conclusively that the entire imperial family was in fact executed and buried in 1918.
The podcast You're Wrong About has a good episode about Anastasia. The reason the location was revealed in 1991 was the collapse of the Soviet Union led to a lot of previously secret stuff coming out, including the reports on what happened to the royal family.
While it doesn't give us who the Zodiac Sea Killer is, just recently his most infamous 340 cipher was solved after 51 years.
Where is the Titanic? Most people don't realize that half of the people in the world grew up when the ship's location was still a complete mystery. Now it's old news.
El Dorado, or the Lost City of Gold, turned out to be a mistranslation. It was just the name of some guy that got mistranslated to the name of a city.
Was he made of gold?
Mary Toft. I mean, really, what the fuck? Tell. Doctor, in Spuggy W, woman starts giving birth to copious amounts of rabbit parts. Woman taken to London and studied under intense supervision. Turns out she was shoving the pieces up there days before for the publicity.
I've never heard this one before. Was anyone actually surprised? I have a feeling that would be the #1 prediction of any scientists planning to observe her.
Never mind. I just read the Wikipedia and man, I despair for my predecessors. They really fell for it despite some of the products having fur on them from what I can tell. So it's massively disturbing that she had them inserted into her actual womb rather than just her vaginal canal. I'd guess she started doing it almost immediately after miscarrying, so her cervix was dilated. Bizarre, painful and really quite dangerous.
Bermuda Triangle/Devil Sea, a triangle-shaped section of ocean where airplanes and boats were known to disappear. Apparently, most stories were embellished, and there is so much traffic that goes through the area, it's actually a very small amount of vessels that go missing, percentage-wise.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad telling me that the Bermuda Triangle was bees. I remember him saying that more ships have sunk in Lake Superior than the Triangle.
So I guess many people here held on to the fact that I misspelled her nationality from Puerto Rican to Puerto Rican, to Puerto Rican, to Puerto Rican. Some here are right that my native language isn't English, it's Arabic. I do hear it, the movie's pronounced with P instead of Qui. Plus, as others said, it was a legitimate spelling in the past, and still is in other languages. Anyway, it was a trivial mistake, and I am not apologizing.
Do you mean Puerto Rican?
English is probably not their first language. In French, the demonym is Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rico is pronounced/spelled Puerto Rico.
The prophet hen of Leeds. A hen was laying eggs with messages like Christ is coming, and people thought the world was ending. Turned out the farmer was actually writing on the eggs herself and then reinserted it back into the chicken.
That's Mary Bateman. She ended up executed not too long after this incident for poisoning someone, I believe. She was also known as a witch.
She sounds like a psychopath.